and welcome to the HalfTime TeamTalk podcast. Today on the podcast, we've got with me Gio.
Hello.
And CB.
Hello.
How are you guys doing? We all okay?
I'm good.
Can't
Enjoyed the
complain.
football on the weekend?
Yeah.
Yes, as the United fan.
Yeah.
Brilliant, wasn't it? I think we should talk about the biggest game, probably Arsenal-Liverpool.
Yep.
We both see the game.
Yep.
It's the only game I watched.
It feels so weird doing this after not doing a podcast for a week. I feel like I haven't done it before.
All rusty.
Yeah, so basically, I think a lot of people are coming round to the idea that Arsenal may be City's nearest challengers. I say nearest in inverted commas because they will probably finish quite far behind, but then they are the only team above City at the moment.
In fairness, Fry's been peddling that since game week 1.
But that's only because
He's an
he
Arsenal
can't
fan.
really peddle the team he supports.
Oh,
So it's... Go on, CB.
I was about to say we've got Squire in the chat. Hi, Squire.
Hello, Squire. Our one and only listener ever.
If we ever do
Audience.
merch, you can have a free t-shirt.
Yeah. Send in your details.
Sign from Gio himself.
Give us
Yeah.
a question, Squire. So I don't know what you guys are thinking. I said a couple of weeks back that I was kind of coming around to the idea that it may not just be a good start anymore.
It was something I mentioned, wasn't it? I think I won't go into the whole thing again because I think I mentioned it on 2 previous podcasts. But the idea of Arsenal just giving up essentially all of the competitions and just really giving this season a good go.
Yeah, I
It's
do remember you
definitely-
saying that.
This is their time. When will they ever have a better season to upset?
When
Yeah, the
Erling
big dogs.
Haaland is not in the league.
That could be a few years.
The thing is, there's probably a Haaland way, an injury way for Haaland, which could lead to Arsenal win the league. If Haaland gets injured,
I don't think Haaland will get injured. I think we're all sort of speculating that he's going to get injured at some point. I don't think he will.
he's not got a good track record though in the leagues. He's been
No, he
in,
hasn't. But
in
he
actual
didn't
league
take
games.
those
I think-
anti-injury PEDs, did he?
No, he didn't. He's been taking them now though.
Hasn't Pep got his special doctors in Spain?
Apparently, didn't someone get injured on international duty? Or it may have been him. He was with Norway, and the City doctors were with him instead of the Norwegian ones.
I personally think that what they'll do is when the fixtures start getting a bit more congested, especially at Christmas, you'll see him get rested a lot more. And that's not because he's injured, but because that'd be keeping him
I
sort
don't know,
of
because he's still only 22. You
Oh,
think
yeah.
back all those
I-
years when we were 22, it felt like
Yeah.
you could play 2 games a week easily.
I mean, in the sense of just keeping him at 100%. So they'll build up a little bit of a lead, only really have Arsenal to worry about, and then
Yeah, true.
just
I think
the lesser
the thing that
fixtures of the
stands
FA
out-
Cups,
The thing that stands out with Arsenal more than just winning games is the fact that they are being pegged back in games and showing the resolve to come back and win. I think that's more impressive than the actual wins more than anything.
Yeah, I think because obviously they've only dropped points to United, haven't they? And I think even in that game, they looked like there was times where,
They looked good.
it could have on another day they could have won. That
It's showing
wasn't-
a bit of a resolve and a bit of steel. And being a Liverpool fan, it kind of reminds me of the year we won the league. It just seemed inevitable that we would, even if we were to get pegged back late in the game, that we would come back and win. And I can't overstate how much. I know Arsenal fans get a lot of stick, but they do seem to have a bond with this set of fans, and that can take you a long way, especially at home.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's I've heard people talk about how they've got a leadership group within Arsenal, and it's a very sort of well-gelled team of the older, more senior players, and I think that the team they know what they want, they know what they're doing, well gelled. They've taken time with Arteta to really sort of understand what it is he's doing. They built something quite special, I think.
Yeah, and if you think back as well to last season, they lost their first 3 games, and everyone was saying if Arsenal were to lose against Norwich, I think they won 4-0 in the end, but if they were to lose, then Arteta was going to lose his job. So it's just crazy, like how things can change so quickly.
I mean, not every manager deserves time. Like some managers just aren't the right fit, but you can tell when some managers have got something about them, and they do just need a bit of time to.
He's been fairly lucky though the past few seasons because he could have easily been sacked more than once.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
last
credit to
season
the
was a
Arsenal
big
board.
disappointment.
So credit to Arsenal's board being like, let's not be trigger happy. We believe in the process. Let's keep it. Let's keep him. And it looks like it's doing wonders at the minute. But I still think they're gonna probably falter off. I just don't think their squad in general is not, in my opinion, it's not that strong compared to some of the other teams around them.
Oh
But
no,
they
100%,
just.
especially City.
I think they're over it. I think you could argue they're probably overachieving in terms of with the players they've got. They've got some really good players, but I don't think
Yeah,
that
when
team
I
is
was watching the
great.
game yesterday, I was looking at some players like the goalkeeper, for example,
Oh, he's
and
garbage.
Tomiyasu, and you're looking at them and you're like, this team can't win the league, surely.
It'd be like, I think if they won the league, I feel like it'd be a Leicester moment. Like, how the fuck did they win the league?
Yeah,
If you go from like
maybe
the
not that
beginning.
big, maybe not that big, but
No, but I think it's the closest to probably Leicester than you probably have another team. It's just when you look
I
at
don't know, you know.
I think of the
I
caliber of
was
players. I just, yeah, they're a good team, but I just don't think
I was listening to the Diary of a CEO podcast. That's Steve Bartlett one today, and
Shout out.
one of the old, yeah, one of the older episodes. Well, I say older, with the Gary Neville episode, and he was talking about how with Fergie, it didn't matter. Like he said to the players, like, don't worry about having the ability. I know you've got the ability. Just do what I've told you to do and put the work in. So it could, like you say, like, how Arsenal's team aren't the strongest. Like you look at United's team and like under Fergie, like Gary Neville wasn't a quality player, but it's the work ethic and with the manager. And if they have got that sussed in the back room on the training ground, and they don't have to necessarily be the best individual player. It's like look at United in the last 10 years since Fergie. Like we just keep buying the best players in Europe supposedly, and we've got nowhere with it.
Yeah, you look how much we've spent, and then you look at United's team now and being obviously part of the players we've got this
well, we will
season.
get onto that in a minute.
Oh yeah,
I've got
sorry
some
for
stats
bringing
to
United up.
roll off, but yeah, I think to bring Liverpool up again, you've only got to look at when Klopp started building that team that won the league. A lot of the players you wouldn't have considered world class, and it just shows like the sum of, I don't know what's the saying, the sum of the parts is stronger than, I don't know what the saying is, but basically a strong team is better
They say a
than
strong
in like
spine, don't
strong
they?
individual players,
I think
which is
Liverpool,
what United have been doing.
but I think Liverpool have had a core play amount core amount of players which are actually world class.
Yeah.
Because
And then there's been a lot of players that have improved under Klopp,
because you can have players which
like Arsenal, like Saka, Martinelli.
Yeah. Well, Martinelli is a good player. Saka's a good
How
player.
good do we think Martinelli can be?
I think he'd be quite good. I don't know how. He gets picked for Brazil regularly, doesn't he? Or does
I
he?
don't know, does he?
I know.
I don't think
I
he
know
did.
Jesus doesn't. I know he doesn't get picked really. I think.
I don't know how true this is,
Gets
but
injured on the plane.
I remember there being a bit of a story that supposedly Neymar, is it him he doesn't get on with?
I wouldn't be surprised. Neymar
It's
doesn't get on
either
with everyone.
it might be Jesus or it might be Firmino, but there's one player, there's an attacking player that Neymar doesn't get on with, and because he essentially runs the Brazil squad, if he says he doesn't want him to play, he doesn't play. I wonder if it's Jesus. I don't think it's Jesus. So I mean, I could just be making that up.
Yeah, but it could easily be though.
I was just looking at his stats then. last season. Oh, I can't find it now. Where's it gone? Last season, he played 29 games, scored 6 goals, and got 6 assists.
Is this
And
Jesus?
so far, no, Martinelli.
Okay.
So 6 goals, 6 assists. So far this season, he's played 9 games and got 4 goals, 2 assists. So he's looking
I think
quite good.
Saka's
I think.
got 3 goals now. I think he was on 1 goal until the weekend. I think then he got 2.
I was saying during the game in the chat that Xhaka has stopped being a liability this season and has actually started showing a bit of class. He's still hot-headed,
Hot-headed.
still hot-headed. And it's
Yeah.
always good for a
How
yellow
did he
card.
not get booked yesterday? By the way, he like literally had hold of Henderson's shirt with both hands, like on the chest. Like, how is that not a booking?
And
I think
that's
Henderson's one of the few players who could match him in a bit of a nose to nose argument.
Shithousery.
Yeah.
But then that's probably the least worst decision of the game. But we won't
yeah.
go in. But yeah, the stats. So the stats. So basically, what I wanted to say was, is it really like? Should we be surprised that Arsenal are challenging, considering the investment they've had over the last couple of years? So I've gone through who. Well, you would say the top 6, and I've also added Everton in because I know Fryer likes to say that they don't spend. But yeah, so Arsenal, I've got each individual season, but I'll just give you the total. They've spent 491 million in the last 4 seasons. In comparison, City have spent 545, so only 50 million in that, 55 million. Chelsea have spent 725 million. Man United have spent 630 million. Spurs have spent 472 million. Everton has spent 280 million, and we've spent 244 million. So, like, should it be a surprise that they're doing so well?
I think ish because they completely revamped their squad. Really, I think I saw an image the other day on Twitter and it was showing. I think of the squad which Arteta inherited. Was it in 2019 or something like that? Was it 2019? And then you look at that squad now, and more than half that team's not there anymore.
Yeah,
He's
I
completely.
think
He has spent quite a lot of money. But there's a lot of quantity players there. He's bought a lot of players.
Oh yeah, but he has also spent like big money on players as
Oh
well.
yeah, he spent some big money in players, but I mean, like
Ben White was 50 million.
Yeah, bloody hell.
How much was the goalkeeper? Wasn't he quite a lot as well?
I think he was. Was he 35, 40? Ramsdale?
Something like that.
Then you had. What's his name? Oh, what was Jesus? Jesus.
He was 50 million. Zinchenko, 50 million.
Freaking hell.
Well, no, one was about 40, weren't they?
Yeah, Jesus is much more. So they have spent on players. They've not. I don't think they've spent like a typical big fee. They've been spending. Like,
No, but
probably,
spending is still spending,
no,
isn't it?
yeah, I know that. I'm not backing them here. I just think they spent a lot. They spent a lot on players, and it's a quantity players. But I would say some of them aren't quality players.
Like,
and this
you
might
look
be
at-
now where they're actually starting to implement quality players. They've got the quantity of players, and now they're going to put a bit more quality in there with
you
the
look.
likes of Jesus.
So I've got a. You were just saying you look at the game yesterday, and obviously they were playing Liverpool, and people are saying, "Oh, what's going wrong at Liverpool?" Like, well, surely the spend tells you everything. Like, we've spent half of what Arsenal have spent, and we were I think I've not got the stats to hand, but I think over the past 2 years we have equaled United in terms of revenue every season, and in terms of club value. And the fact that go on, George.
Sorry, I was going to say though, but when you say it's clearly through the money side of things, I tend to disagree. Just because
It's not just to do with money, but having money helps.
Of course it is.
But I'm not belittling what
helps
Arteta's done. He's done a great job, but they should be challenging with what they're spending.
Yeah, and that is what you'd hope. On like a business side of it, like return on your investment. But I think if you're spending wisely, like they are, I think they are. I don't think they're spending like I think United spends historically have spent stupid.
Yeah.
But Arsenal they're spending quite wisely. But what I was going to say when you compared them to Liverpool was that you're still the same, give or take. I know you've lost money, but give or take, you're still roughly the same team that's gets 90 points a season.
Yeah, but it's been roughly the same team for the last 4 or 5 seasons. That's the
So
problem.
then, of course you're aging, and like you could argue that a few players need an upgrade. But is it a confidence issue right now? Is Klopp For me, it feels like Klopp's struggling to instill a bit of confidence into some of the lads.
I feel like the main issue is there is a bit of a come down from last season. Like, I don't think any team will get as close as we were last season to winning all 4 trophies. I don't think that will ever happen again. And
Yeah, possibly.
I think like, when you consider we've gone into the last game of the season, there's 1 point in it, and we went into the Champions League final. And if those games would have gone our way, which very nearly happened in the Premier League,
Yeah,
you got to remember they were 2 down to like the last 10 minutes. So there's going to be naturally a bit of a come down from that, and I just think they're a bit knackered. And also, we've been playing the same team for 4 or 5 years. People know what to do. That's what it is.
And they figured Liverpool out a bit better.
Yeah, that is it. And the team needs refreshing, and we just haven't had the money to. Well, we haven't been given the money to do it, and there's no excuse to say, well, there's no money there because, like I said, we've been making what Man United have been making. So, like, where is that money?
No.
No one knows. Well, we do know. It's in the owner's pocket.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a little table here as well, just to go over it. I've got a total. I won't do the net spend because you'll all moan. But I've got. Let me just go through this. So, in terms of the table, United are top in terms of actual spends
This is the past
in the
4
last
years.
4 seasons. Yeah. So United have spent 630 million to Chelsea's 622. City are third with 546, and Arsenal are fourth with 491. Liverpool are below Spurs, Villa, West Ham, Wolves, Newcastle, Everton, and Leeds. We're at 244 million spend. So that's just very telling right there. And I do want to do the net spend one because it's even worse, right? So our net spend is over the past 4 seasons, £89 million. So teams that have higher net spend than us in the Premier League only, okay? Fulham have a higher net spend. Sheffield United have a higher net spend. Nottingham Forest, from 1 season in the Premier League, have a higher net spend. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, is that not shocking?
It is bad, yeah.
For a team that's been challenging in every competition for the past 4 or 5 years, like, that is just, it's just unexcusable. And not enough gets said about it, to be honest. Like, people may want to take the mick out of like Liverpool now this season, but if we're not spending money, what are we meant to do?
Figures
Like, Klopp's doing it with his hands tied behind his back, isn't he? Really?
Yeah, you spent money, but you've only spent money like one player every big money every like 2 seasons.
Well, we spent
maybe.
money. We spent big money on Allison one summer window, and then Van Dijk in a January window, and then after that we spent
Diaz. What was Diaz?
40.
That's still big money. Then Nunes.
It's not big money now. It's not.
No, but
Nunes
still,
is not even big money anyway. Sorry, Nunes like back when we signed Van Dijk and Allison, 60 million was big money, but now it's not. And that was only 5 seasons ago. Like, we spent 64 on Nunes, obviously before add-ons, and that's not really big money, is it? 60 million now.
No, probably not now. No, that's about average probably now.
But when you've got players going for, like, you had Lukaku went for 100, Grealish went for 100, Anthony's gone for 80. Who else is there? I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's any more, but yeah, it's kind of has turned into like me talking about Liverpool, but it kind of works because they played Arsenal, but it is quite shocking, really. And when you see teams like City buying everyone, like I think Bellingham will end up at City now. He'll either be City or Madrid, and you just think, like, what's the point? How would you compete?
Where do you see, based upon the trajectory of Liverpool and what they're likely to spend on players, then where do you see Liverpool? Where do you see Liverpool finishing this season, and then where do you see them finishing next season?
I don't know. It's going to be. It all depends. Like the last few games, there has been an improvement in performance.
Can
Like we should have got.
I'll say, can you see Klopp leaving, but leaving on the basis that he's just fed up of not having his hands tied behind? Do you reckon he'll leave?
Don't think so. I don't think so.
Not even if he's like, well, you still say you're struggling, and you still not be given the money to prove. Do you reckon you'll stay?
I don't know. It's hard to say because he's never really been, bar like those couple of seasons, he's never really been given money in his career, has he?
No, I don't know his figures in Dortmund, but I don't think so.
No, he didn't really. He always had his best player taken, didn't he, every season by Bayern?
Well, that's Dortmund anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, but just going back to where do I think we'll finish? Like, I think this season now, like the last, obviously Rangers are not very good, but I can't remember who played before that. But in the Arsenal game, there was definitely an improvement in performance with this new formation.
It was Brighton before that, for real.
Right, you know, yeah. Thanks for reminding me. But yeah, it's going to be obviously a fight to get in the top four, and hope that we can squeeze in the back, like finish fourth. But it all depends on how close we are come January, because I feel like we might make a few signings in January, and I feel like our best chance is to probably try and get Bellingham then, because coming like waiting for the summer, I don't think anyone else has a chance bar City or Madrid.
Yeah, I agree. I'd probably agree to that.
Like my heart says that come the end of this season, we'll spend big money because the owners will think, well, if we don't, we'll lose Klopp. And who else do you sign? Like everyone is a downgrade on Klopp.
Yeah.
I heard someone today saying they should pull the trigger and get Tuchel. I'm like, that's just like a poor man's Klopp. Like, why would you do that?
Well, Tuchel's a good manager, but he's not the same. He plays completely different way to Klopp plays.
It's interesting that you said Paul Man's Club. I remember listening to a pod a few weeks ago when we were talking about the whole Graham Potter transition, and someone was saying how he is kind of like the Rolling Stones to the Beatles, to Klopp being the Beatles. Like no matter in Germany, especially, like no matter what
Yeah, he is.
Tuchel does, he's just seen as second string to Klopp.
He is just like a little mini Klopp, isn't he? Basically, and
Apparently,
I think they do play kind of similar football.
Apparently, they think he's not very charismatic. Apparently, so he's not easy to talk to. Whereas obviously Klopp is very.
Yeah, it's a complete opposite, isn't
Yeah.
it? But yeah, I don't. They're gonna have to spend money. They're building the stand at the moment, and I think that's finished come the end of the season, and that takes the attendance up to 62 capacity. And then they've got no excuses then, really, have they? And the thing is as well, like for the price of a new stadium, you buy like the best player in the world nowadays. Like the price of footballers compared to like the price of normal things, like stuff you'd use to build a stadium, has just gone up so much that even building the stand shouldn't really affect what we're spending, considering how much money you get from the TV deal. So, but yeah, depressing. I mean, it's crazy to think like, what was it? 5 months ago, we were going into a Champions League final. That's just crazy, and now we are where we are. But yeah,
Same question then. Where do you see Arsenal finishing and where this season and next season?
Oh, next season, that's impossible to tell. It's so hard. Like, don't fancy them to stay in second, but then at the same time, who do I fancy to overtake them?
I think that's the I think that is the thing.
No one.
I don't think Arsenal win, and I've got a feeling they're not going to finish second. I think they might go to like third, but Then, like Fel said, I don't know who would go further.
No,
There's not
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Chelsea's too hard to predict because they've got a new manager. Like before they had the new manager, I would have said Chelsea won't catch them. But then I don't know now. Spurs are not going to catch them because I don't think they're that good,
No, I don't think
to
they're
be
that good.
honest. I had high
Yeah.
hopes for Spurs at the start of the season, but they've kind of faded.
They on the off. I think they're not playing well, but I think they're very good.
They are very good. And
Well, they could be very
they'll
good.
probably get top four. I think United are a bit of a dark horse, to be honest, because if you take away the City game, yeah, it was a bad result, but they'll probably do that to everyone. They'll do it to us next week.
Yeah.
Like, if you take that out, they've won 5 games in a row.
Yeah, we've got
Which
five.
is-
We've got won 5 out of 6 in the Premier League, and we played Arsenal and Liverpool in that, and City. And if you said to me like, would you take 5 wins out of them or
Well, yeah,
15 points,
100%.
you'd be like, yeah, because Liverpool and Arsenal there. So I think we're dark horses. I don't think we'll go any higher than 4th though.
I think in terms of 4th, it'll be between. Hard to say. Can't tell between Spurs. I'm going to say between Chelsea, United, and hopefully us. But I don't know.
I think
I
you
think
have going in your favour is that although Chelsea are obviously a very good team and Potter is an exceptional manager, but it could take a bit of time to gel there. So I think
yeah, and also how is Potter gonna do? He's never done this before, has he? He's never been in the big leagues, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. He could prove to be fantastic and take to this no problem at all. But I think he's got the ability. I think that's Liverpool. They have obviously got Klopp who knows how to perform at this level.
Yeah,
Oh, your mic's just gone a bit bad.
I think Potter has got the ability to be a really good manager, but then it's the question: is Chelsea job too soon? Which could be the case, but you never know. He might do really well. He's started okay at Chelsea, hasn't he? But it might be the new manager bounce, and then Chelsea might go back to Chelsea what they were at the beginning
I
of the season.
think also, and this is going to bring us on to the next subject.
Oh,
I think Newcastle could maybe be hanging around there as well.
yeah.
Like, how high do we think they can finish?
I think they've got a good chance to finish Europa. I think they'll.
What is that now? 7th?
I was going to say 6th or 7th.
Yeah, I think they can. I can't see them finishing higher, but I think they could finish there. I still think 6th, 7th, maybe 8th at the lowest. I think that's where they could finish.
They're currently sat in 6th. They've only lost 1 game all season, and that was to a last-minute goal against us. Like, if we didn't score, well, last minute, it was last minute in stoppage time. And if we'd have not scored that, them and City would be the only teams in the league unbeaten.
How many games
So
have they drawn? They've drawn a few.
That is their issue. They've drawn 5.
Yeah. So
they went on a bit of a run, didn't they? Where they couldn't really score, and then they bought Isaac.
So they are dark.
But then
they're like
one thing that needs to be accounted for is early on in the season, John Shelby got an injury, and he usually plays the more defensive role in midfield. And Bruno Guimaraes had to take his place, obviously. So was round about the time when they were drawing all those games.
Yeah.
And then recently, the last 2 or 3 games, Eddie Howe's put Longstaff and Willock like in an anchoring role and let Guimaraes move further up forward. And since then, they've won 2 on the bounce. It could even be 3 on the bounce. He scored twice and got an assist as well. So with Isaac coming back as well, they're looking quite good up front to have the firepower needed to turn those draws into wins.
I'm a bit worried about playing them this weekend because they're really good sides.
Are you at home?
Yeah, we're at home. I think the thing with United now, I'm confident that I'm confident we can score because I think we've got the attacking players to score as many goals as we want, really. But it's the mistakes. There's so many. There's so no, you know what I'm saying. But I'm confident. I'm always confident of United scoring with the talent we've got. It's just we seem to always have a mistake in us, and usually when we make a mistake, it ends up in a goal. We had one yesterday, and then we had
Yeah,
two.
when you make
we
a
had,
mistake, it's a bad mistake.
yeah. It's not like oh, that was close. It's usually like, oh, it's just cost us a goal. Like that mistake yesterday, 2 mistakes midweek, which got the Cypriot team to score 2 goals, which came from 2 of our own mistakes. So, and obviously Brentford skipped the Brentford game. Probably 3 of those goals were directly our own mistakes. So it could go. So I'm a bit worried about that.
It should be. They're a good team.
Yeah,
And,
which
I think
it's more of I'm saying it in a nice way to them, saying it's more respect to them because they are a good team. So I'm worried. I'm not. It's not like Newcastle a few years ago, which you were confident that you probably steamroll them.
yeah,
But now it's not the same.
with Steve Bruce in charge, he got sacked today, didn't he, for West Brom?
West Brom.
You think now teams would be like, yeah, let's not hire Steve Bruce, but I'm sure he'll have a job soon.
Oh yeah, probably have a job.
The thing is with Newcastle as well, which teams around them need to worry about is they'll probably spend another 100, 120 million in January and bring in 2 world-class players again.
Yeah.
Like, that's the future.
Yeah. I think they're probably good. They're probably doing what City did at the beginning, didn't they? Buy some good players, and then gradually it'll make to buy world-class players, and then gradually it'll become like a City.
Yeah.
Which is actually a good
Like
way of doing it.
Robinho.
Yeah.
Remember Robinho?
Yeah, when he
Did you think he was going to United?
Yeah, he thought he was going to United. Then he didn't know about City being another team in Manchester. Good player.
I remember Forlan's quote of he played for United for however many years and he didn't realise that was another team in Manchester.
Yeah, I've seen that quote. It's like Forlan.
Is that true though, or is that just?
Well, he might be just adding to the fire, but
Twitter.
it is a quote. But he might be just adding to the fire.
Do we think Eddie Howe will be in this job much longer? Do we what's the time frame you can see on that?
I think a couple more seasons, but I think eventually he'll be replaced. I think he's a good manager for now, but when they want to start competing, they might try and pull the trigger and try and get someone else. But you never know; he might stay. But I feel like he's the manager for now.
I'll give him at least till the summer.
Yeah. And while he's doing well, definitely till the summer, but also especially while he's doing well, then they can't really replace him, can they? But speaking of replacing managers, that brings us on to our last topic. Who do we think is going to get sacked next? I was going to say before this weekend that Steve Cooper would probably be the first.
He signed a deal.
He's just signed a new deal.
I think that's.
But the thing is, I was listening to, I don't know if you guys know him, but ex Crystal Palace owner Simon Jordan. He has a show on TalkSport, and he's like very outspoken. He's really good to listen to because he gives a lot of insights from like football club owner point of view. And he said that this contract probably won't be any more money, and it's only a year extension. And so basically, if he gets sacked, it won't cost them that much money, but it will give the club a boost in the short term, and the players a boost, and the manager a boost. But nothing has really changed.
Yeah.
So from like the outside, it looks like, oh yeah, we're backing our man, but really, he's just done it as like a clever tactic.
But to be fair, he's done really well for not Forest in general. It's just this season.
Well, last season, I think they were in the relegation places when he took over. So,
but this season, it just thought, I don't know, like a City load of players.
Forest are nailed. Like, I know we had the conversation with other people who were on the podcast that when we first started doing this, and a couple of them said they can't see Forest getting in danger, and I always said, I don't know, they've signed a lot of players, and I think right now they look nailed on to get relegated. You think what?
I've always been a bit nervous. I'm not nervous about them, but like in the sense of like if I was
worried for them,
I would be worried. Yeah, I've never had confidence in them. But I was going to say a few pods back. I said, well, I obviously thought Rodgers had been sacked, but I thought Hasenhüttl was going to be the next one to go.
Well, he's another one on my list. So I think the two favourites are Hassan Hootel and Brendan Rodgers.
But I think Rodgers, from looking at or listening to it a little bit, hasn't he got like a big payday if they get rid of him? So you could see Leicester potentially keeping him just so they don't have to pay him out.
But how much money are they going to lose if they get relegated?
Yeah.
I think maybe they're thinking, okay, we'll do shit, but we're not going to get relegated. But doesn't mean they won't. But maybe that's their mindset.
Just looking at the
Personally,
odds for the next managers to get sacked, Hassan Hootel is 4-9, Brendan Rodgers 7-2, Gerrard is 4-1, Steve Cooper's 22-1, and Jurgen Klopp is 22-1. Fifth favourite to get sacked.
I definitely can't see Klopp being sacked. He's more likely to walk away.
Yeah, he's got too much credit in the bank,
Yeah.
hasn't he? Carry on, Judge.
that was pretty much what I was going to say, I think. But yeah, genuinely, I could see Southampton going down.
I could see them going down.
I can see
The
us.
problem, like Southampton looked good a couple of games back when they played Chelsea. They had a game against Chelsea, and there was another game they had where they actually looked good, and I thought they could actually have a good season here. And then since then, the Chelsea game on the 30th of August, they've scored 1 goal in 4 games, and they've picked up 0 points, and it's just all crumbled for them. I think every season they don't really spend, and I think this season could be the season that it catches up with them.
They've got rid of a few players. They've got rid of a few of their like half decent players as well, like Romeo and that. So it's like, okay, they're not like world beaters or anything, but like they were integral to the team. Like who have they got now? Like genuine other than Ward-Prowse, who have they got?
Che Adams.
Hey Adams.
He's
They
not-
got rid of Romeo.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, he's gone.
They lost. Is it Brojo from Chelsea because he was on loan?
Bro,
Yeah, he was
Bro,
on
yeah,
that
that's
story,
it.
yeah.
He was good too. He was a good player for them last
Brojo.
season. Good.
Brojo.
I prefer I prefer the name I gave him, to be honest. I think he should rebrand himself.
Brojo and Bojo.
Yeah, Brojo.
Yeah.
They've obviously, yeah. They signed. Did they sign Maitland-Niles in the summer?
They bought two City. They bought 2 City youth lads, and apparently there's a lot of potential in both. Was it 2, maybe 1? But they signed a City youth lad who's like
Yeah,
really,
they definitely
really good.
got someone. But I
The
can't
thing
remember.
is, when people sign players like that, when you look at what happened with Foden, and there's that other young lad coming through for City, that Palmer.
Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if
The lap.
City think they're good, I know they've loaned out the lap, haven't they, to the Championship. But if City think they're good, they're not going to let them go.
Yeah.
So he signed Samuel Ndozi.
Yeah, I think he scored 1 goal.
I think they've signed a few. Is this all the play? Yeah, they've signed a few players from City, but like under 21. So they signed a left back from City. They signed a goalkeeper.
We've got Salisu as well.
And
Bednarak. Ragnarok.
They've got another. No, they've got 4 players from City.
Whoa, they've got Theo Walcott.
Oh yeah, back.
Forgot he was there.
They lost Nathan Redmond.
Yeah, I think they're going down.
Fraser Forster, Shane Long.
How are Leicester where they are with the players they've got? Like, they've got Tielemans, Harvey Barnes, Johnny Evans, Vardy. I know those two are getting a bit old, but still, they've got good players. How are they there? How are they bottom of the league?
I think Tielemans is half. I think Tielemans is on the way out anyway. I think his mind's elsewhere, so he's not the same as he was, say, last season. I think he thought he was going to be transferred in the summer, and obviously it's not happened, so he's probably a bit disappointed.
Yeah, but they're still, like, look at their team. The team's...
They've got
look what I mentioned there.
Madison and Ndidi.
Look what I mentioned a few weeks ago, though, about how they need to score at least 3 goals to win a game. Like, when they finally won a game against Forest, they scored 4. Okay, yeah, Forest is combined. Like, for them to win a game, they have to score 4 goals. And they can't score goals because they've got some great attacking players. But other than Johnny Evans, you didn't have a single defender then.
No, but they've also
And
got
they-
Ryan Bertrand. He's not bad.
Was it
James Justin. Yeah, but where's Soyuncu been? Has he been playing? I forgot they even had him.
Yeah, he was the
I
next
don't
big
know.
thing. He was saying, like, screw.
Well, he was good. I don't know if it was last season or the season
I think
before,
it
but
was the past 2 seasons because they were like, oh, we don't need Maguire because we've got this fella.
no, he's not played a single game so far this season.
Yeah, was that down to injury or?
And they've also got the Wales goalie as well,
Exactly.
Danny Ward.
He's shocking.
Yeah, it's bad.
But has he? The defence has been shocking.
He's not a good goalkeeper, really.
He's one of them. Like, he performs for his country, but that's it. Like when
Do any Welsh players perform for their club?
Probably. Well, yeah.
True,
Yeah.
but he's one of them. Like, he can guarantee when England play Wales in the World Cup, he will be man of the match.
Yeah, probably.
But he won't keep anyone else out.
Just got a stat here as well for Leicester, which I thought was quite good. They've now dropped 30 points in 2022 from winning positions,
But yeah.
and that's 13 more than anyone else. So they're quite far out. Like, they just, like you said, they can't defend.
And as well, you can tell they're phasing out Vardy.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
is
Why
the
would they
right
give him a
thing to do.
2-year contract then?
I don't know. Probably just as a bit of a backup, isn't it?
Makes no sense why they would do that. Like, literally
They
no
might-
sense whatsoever.
They might have thought that we could get more output from him, or they might have done that to see if they get resale value if they were to sell him. But
What, at 48?
I wouldn't be surprised. They won't be surprised. Some teams will probably pay some money for him.
United.
Yeah, 50
Yeah.
mil.
Yeah, 50 mil, yeah. 52.
What Ollie would have done.
Yeah.
I need a striker. Get me Haaland. No,
See,
we'll take you,
there's a story about that. He wanted Haaland, but John Murto messed it up. Completely messed it
yeah,
up.
with the times, wasn't it?
Yeah, he completely balls it up. And I'm not saying we would have got him, but
Who did you get in the end? Igalo.
Igalo, yeah. He did well end of that season. Then you didn't
He
see
did
him.
not do
No,
well, CV.
no. Let me rephrase that. He did okay, but then the next season for like
He did better than you thought.
Oh yeah, he did, but he did much better than I thought. But I think, and then the next half of his loan, which is the following season, he just didn't play.
Let me see his stats. So he scored no goals for United.
He did.
Is that right?
No,
In the Premier League?
He scored a few in Europa. He scored a belter against that Austrian.
And I think he's some in the cup competitions too. Don't think he really.
Let's have a look. I don't think he scored a goal for United.
YouTube his goal against that. I think they're called Last Glins.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was he scored 2 that game, and I think they're both worldies.
I do remember him scoring a good goal, but I don't think he has scored for United. Let's see, what season was he at United?
2021.
Let's see, 2020, 21. He played one game and scored none. That's when he moved, I think. He played 2 in the EFL and 1 in the Champions League and scored none. And then the season before, he played 11 in the league, scored none. Played 5 in the Europa League, and played 5 in the Europa League and scored 2, and 3 in the FA Cup and scored 3. So he didn't score a single goal in the league.
Yeah.
Is this where you've fallen to, CV?
No, but I don't think he didn't play much. To be fair.
Played 11 games.
No. I'm playing about probably the time. He could still play 11 games, but play 10 minutes each game.
That's true.
So I think
he played 11 games, totaling 82 minutes. Got 10 minutes each game.
So there we go then. So not really surprised. But I think he did well against the one big game I remember him for was the City game. We beat him 2-0 at Old Trafford. When his back heels, he did a back heel to, I think it was Fred. And then Fred did a horrendous ball, went to McTominay, he scored from like 40 yards out.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, back when we could beat City and not get battered.
God. So, should we move on to FPL now, Gio?
You're not going to talk
Can't
about the
do it.
VAR?
The what?
The VAR incidents.
Oh, no. Not really. What's the point? Better
Well,
be talking about
well,
VAR. What, you go on, you say what you wanted
I'll
to
say
say.
Squire asked before, he said, Rashford handball, yes or no?
Did he?
Yeah, he put yes or no. I replied in the chat. I know you're at yes. I'm more of a no because I think it was just really harsh, but
Is he still in the chat?
I don't know. But he did before.
Good to all viewers.
Yeah. But yeah, I think some of the VAR decisions were horrendous this weekend.
No, right. That United one, okay, the rules, under the rules, that can't be a goal.
Yeah, but
it just can't be a
it's
goal.
so backwards, the whole rule. What annoys me is just,
it's a shambles.
it's so inconsistent. So, do you see Antonio's goal? He literally cupped the ball.
Yeah, like playing
then
basketball.
And then like the Rashford's one, Rashford jumped to challenge, so his arms weren't actually that out. The ball hit him probably near enough in his armpit than his hand. And then
Yeah.
But the thing is, if he did that and then passed it to say Ronaldo, it would have counted.
Yeah, I know,
Which
because
makes
it's all about phases and
it
things
makes
like that.
no sense. It should be like
It is ridiculous.
it should. That's what annoys me more. It's just after seeing that and the Arsenal game where I think he should have had a penalty because his arms are not in a natural position. But it's just so backwards.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's so ridiculous. Like, under the rules, the Rashford goals just shouldn't have counted, but you can see why United fans wanted it because the Antonio one was given. And it's the same with our handball. Like, I'm under the impression it was probably too close. But one was given the day before in the Newcastle game.
I don't think if it's too close though. But the Rashford was too close because literally Rashford, it came from under Rashford and got booted up to Rashford's. He's got no way of doing it. He can't get out of that. It's just so backwards, the whole thing, how they do VAR. I think it's officiating, really. VAR could be really good if officiating was good, and it's just not. Like, I remember...
There's a reason that in the last Euros there was no English referees there.
Yeah, and the VAR was actually really good in the Euros, if I remember rightly. And then now it takes like 5 minutes to do a simple... was that a handball? Was that not? Was that a penalty? Was that a goal? It takes like 5 minutes. It's just shambles. What annoyed me more from yesterday, from that decision, because United were comfortable, more than comfortable. If that goal went in, we might have scored more. But because the goal didn't go in, well, it didn't count, it felt like Everton scored, and then obviously it took about a couple of minutes for the decision to be made, and then all of a sudden United were under pressure, and I would have felt a massive injustice if Everton got an equaliser after that, which they could have very easily done. Because they did nothing.
Right at the end, didn't they?
Yeah, they did nothing all game.
No, they were not very good, Everton. I was quite disappointed with them yesterday. I don't know if you read on Sky, they have that Dermot Gallagher.
I read that one
every Monday.
I read the one on the app. He goes like through all the decisions and what was it correct?
Yeah. So, like, obviously that penalty that Arsenal got yesterday. So we're singing Arsenal's praises yesterday, and really they shouldn't have won. Like, that penalty they got from Jesus was just... I was so mad at the time. Like, football is just no contact anymore. And just reading what he says, so that ex-ref says there's two issues. They're meant to be raising the threshold so that there is more physical contact. Do you remember that at the start of the season?
Yeah.
A lot of the little fouls were not given, and that's kind of just gone out the window. And he says Thiago doesn't get the ball and makes contact with Jesus, but is it enough to give a penalty? I think not. And the next problem is when it's thrown to the VAR, Michael Oliver will say to the VAR, he doesn't get the ball, he made contact with the player, which he has, so that there's no evidence he made an incorrect decision, so VAR has to stay out of it. Like, how ridiculous is that?
Yeah.
It's just so backwards, the whole thing. And I've never been one to say get rid of it, but I'd rather it not be
That's
there
another
anymore.
thing, though, what we said to follow on from the Arsenal discussion before. Yeah, for Arsenal to finish top or finish stay top, they're going to have to be lucky, which I feel like they've been quite lucky this season so far with some decisions. So if they continue to be lucky, they can very much be towards the top.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, some of the decisions they've had.
I think City will show. City will show when they play Arsenal. I don't know when it is, but I think they'll absolutely trounce City at Arsenal. I think they'll win by like 3 or 4 goals. They're just so far ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, but that shows you how good of a run team, how much of a better run team they are compared to them in the league.
The thing that's in Arsenal's favour is that everyone around them is not doing great either. So Spurs are doing all right, but I expected them to do better. And then obviously United didn't have a great start. We're garbage, and yeah,
it'd be interesting to see where the league is before the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean that's only in.
We've still got a few
It's
games.
31 days. Southgate names his squad.
I think United have got Newcastle at home. I think Spurs at home, and maybe Chelsea away. So we played a lot of the big boys before the World Cup.
I think we've still got Chelsea because it got postponed. Lost against you. Lost against Arsenal. Haven't played Spurs. Basically lost against everyone but Newcastle and Bournemouth. That's pretty much where our season is.
Yeah, well,
but yeah,
that's fun, more fun to start. Is Bournemouth above you in the league?
yes, but they have played
That
more games.
Yeah, but that's still quite funny when you think of it.
Nope.
No,
Depressing.
no.
More like. No, that just shows what a good job that Gary O'Neill has done. Really.
Yes.
Like I don't think he's lost since he took over. When you consider the team he took over had just been beaten 9-0. That's pretty good going. They're getting new owners soon, aren't they? As well, they reckon that takeover is going to go through.
The American.
And everyone was saying on the radio today, like, why doesn't Gary O'Neill get the the full-time job? But all the players have come out, and again, Simon Jordan again with his like unique point of view, like all their players have come out and said, oh yeah, we really love playing with him, blah blah blah. We should hire him as the manager, like don't get anyone else. And then Simon Jordan said, no, that's it now, that's the nail in the coffin. They should get rid of him because once the players start coming out and backing him, they're only saying that because he's picking them. Once he stops picking them, they'll change their mind.
Well, you just look at the situation with Ollie United. He was only supposed to be there for like a short while, but his results went really well. And then United appointed him. The players loved him at the time, and then it just went.
I
sour.
think the worst game you ever had was PSG away.
The worst game? What do you mean this?
Because that's what got Ollie the job.
Oh, it did get him. Yeah, I think that did get him the job.
And then it's kind of just wasted 3 years.
It's funny that we beat
2 years.
We beat PSG twice away from home with Ollie and lost both home fixtures.
Did you?
Yeah.
Champions League is such a weird match. Say again, Joe.
The famous Rio Ferdinand quote after the game.
What was it? Ollie's at the wheel or something?
Yeah.
So give him a blank page.
He's so cringe, Rio Ferdinand. He's so cringe. When I watch him on BT, I don't mind him, but he is very cringe. Like, and I like for personal, well, not personal, but there's like other reasons I kind of dislike him. Like after his wife died and stuff. But when you sit there and watch him on BT, and he's sat there in like a pair of chinos that are halfway up his legs, and then he's got like some weird like shoes on, and he's just like,
no,
what are you doing?
I tell you, he's the most cringiest footballer. Robbie Savage with what he wears.
Oh yeah, but he's always been a bit weird.
I know, but I mean, it's cringy some of the stuff. wears.
Did you ever see his wife, by the way?
No, I've never seen his wife.
If I remember correctly, she is like kind of stunning.
Kind of.
Let me have a look, just to make sure I'm not imagining it. Good old Charlie
Jeez.
Savage. No, I think I was imagining it. She's all right. Maybe age just caught up to her. I don't know.
Ooh. No, that's her. She's never going to listen to us.
All right. We've only got Squire. Maybe that was Robbie Savage's nickname.
Yeah, he's yeah.
Squire. Yeah. So we're kind of just rambling now. Do you want to move on to FPL, Gio?
Can do. I must admit, I don't prepare as much as Friday. We are missing him this week.
No. Just give us
Right.
who you're thinking of picking for next week.
Lost in action.
That's about it, really.
Well, I was just having a
We've
little.
already done 55 minutes, so keep it brief.
Cool. Yeah, probably. I was just having a little look at our league, and I was going to say I've finally taken Fryer and Tom, and especially now that Nico Williams is just being subbed on, so Tom can't get his 6-pointer from Dias, which means I will finish ahead of him now this week. So is there any Johnson ahead of me now?
Be careful, he will kill you.
Johnson's took quite a big lead, though, as well.
Well, he used his triple captain this week.
He used it on Haaland, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's only 42 points ahead of me, and obviously I've still got my triple captain. So I'm not saying it's not a good lead. He's having a very good start to the season, but I wouldn't say it's a huge lead just yet.
Yeah,
I've got him in my sights. You guys just looking at your team, CV. Obviously, we've got the blank for Arsenal and City in 2 weeks' time. You have 6 players between Arsenal and City, and you do not have your wild card. What are your plans?
I might panic, frail my arms a bit. But yeah, I didn't actually think of that. As now I'm going to start worrying. I was thinking of getting rid of Jesus or Saliba.
Okay.
I'm keeping Martinelli. I feel like he's going to be a good output. Haaland, I'm keeping.
Have Martinelli?
I think I'll
keep Haaland.
I think
I was going to say,
I'll keep Haaland. I'll keep Cancelo.
Have you had Martinelli from the start?
I think I might have. I think I had him and Odegaard and Jesus, and then I think I only had Jesus and Haaland, but now I've got Kane in. So I've had to do. I think I got rid of Salah and put Kane in, but obviously Kane's a doubt for this weekend. 75% are playing.
He is flagged. You after the game, he said it was just enough, and they were just being a little bit cautious of it. But nothing really. Imagine he'd still play. I think he said because they got Champions League and tomorrow night they play, so I think they were just keeping him fit for that. So I wouldn't worry too much about Kane. I would focus more on your abundance of City and Arsenal players.
Yeah.
I would. My tips for you, I would say, if you've had Martinelli and Haaland from the start, keep them, bench them, because obviously, if you sell them and then decide to buy them back, you'll have to spend a lot more money on them.
Yeah.
Than what you bought them for.
I'm happy to see that this week Did I get the most points this week so far? I got 74. So what did
you played?
I forgot. Spence Johnson's got 70.
There's still another game though, remember?
Johnson's got 73. He has Coutinho in play, who is on 5 points currently.
So I may have second him out. And considering my past 2 weeks, where 1 week I didn't change the team, and last week where I forgot to captain Haaland when everybody else captained Haaland. And that kind of went up in flames, which has made me fall back considerably. Because I think at one point we were only 5 points between top place and fifth or something.
I think, in fairness, just looking at the points difference now, if you had Haaland captain that week, you'd still be ahead of me.
I would be.
I think so. I've not looked into it too much, but when only 20 points difference, I think you would be ahead of me still.
Yeah, because I think
Who did you have as captain, CB?
I think I had Kane.
Yeah, I think you did.
I don't know why I didn't captain Holland. I think it's my bitterness
He was
because I
playing
do.
United.
Yeah, I think
I
it
was
was
going to
that.
say, I'm surprised it's not a United player.
Yeah, I was a bit bitter. I was like, I don't want to be show face that I've captained him against us. So I just made him
Someone will
vice.
see.
So I made him vice captain, and then everybody else got 40 points, whereas I got 20 points. So I was like, oh, that's a bit annoying. And then Cancelo for that game got like 1 or 2, and the last game he got 18 points.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Phil, on who I think I'm going to transfer in this week, I don't think I am. I'm hoping to have the 2 free transfers to navigate the blank week a little bit, but I am tempted to switch my goalkeeper.
How many players have you got in the teams that are blanking?
Well, I've got 3, 3
Not
City
too
and 1
bad.
Arsenal. I was going to sell De Bruyne, keep Cancelo and Haaland and Martinelli, but sell De Bruyne, and then my plan was to buy Foden when City are back in action again and spread the money elsewhere. Because if we're only ever going to captain Haaland this season, you don't really need to spend big money on the likes of De Bruyne, who are 12 and a bit million. You might as well just have all the good, cheaper players and just have benching headaches every week rather than
Yeah, I agree.
have the most expensive players
Can
in
I
the
just
game.
say, I'm watching the Villa Forest game, and someone just had a shot for Forest, and behind the goal, the steward in his high-vis coat and his Nottingham Forest scarf around his neck, just
I
watching the
think
game,
he's
jumping up, going, "Oh!"
yeah,
Did you see it?
yeah.
Either
If
that,
like
either it was that, yeah, it was either that or someone's gone to the match in a high-vis coat.
Yeah, when
Yeah, carry on.
you've got work at 9 or
Yeah.
10. But
Anything else to add, or should we end it there?
no, well, we'll end it there, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for listening. If anyone does, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Yeah, that's why.
yeah, bye, Squire.
Cheers, bye.
Miss you. Bye.
If you enjoyed this podcast, feel free to subscribe or follow us on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, and Twitch at HalfTime TeamTalk. We also live stream these episodes on Twitch every Monday, 8 PM UK time. You can also find us on Twitter at HalfTimeTA2, so give us a follow.